I'm Sarah, and I want you to know that it gets better. I wanted to contribute to this project from when I first heard about it, which was about a week ago, but I hesitated at first because I wasn't sure that I could prove to anyone that it gets better for everyone. It got better for me, it got a lot better, but I don't know if that proves anything to you. Because as an adult, you still have to deal with a lot of tough things. You still have bad days. You still have days when a project like this is going to be useful to you. I mean, for me, the series of days of coming home and hearing that another teenager had committed suicide thanks to bullying, a project like this is something I need. This kind of community outpouring of support is still necessary. Anyway, I was thinking, how to prove something outside, my personal experience. Well, I was thinking about, when you talk to LGBT people of, say, my parents' generation, they always say things like, I never thought I would see this in my lifetime. I never thought this would happen. And they're talking about stuff like, how we have gay marriage in the US in a handful of states, how there are a lot of out and influential people. Those are big milestones. And I mean, I'm 27, and a lot of these things I never thought I would see in my lifetime, considering what it was like when I first started realizing my own queerness. I remember being in 5th grade, and all I knew about gay was that Freddie Mercury, who I idolized, was gay, and he had AIDS and died from it. And Melissa Etheridge was gay, but one of the popular boys in my class would always make fun of her when her songs came on the radio, just because she was a lesbian. So, ridicule and possible death. That's all I knew. Really not a promising start on the road to self-acceptance. And I spent a lot of time going, you are not a lesbian, you are not a lesbian, to myself, because I was so afraid. I remember in 8th grade also when Ellen came out for the first time on her TV show, I remember how many of my friends said, their parents were not going to let them watch that episode because they didn't agree with homosexuality. And at the same time that I knew that was wrong, I felt that was definitely wrong, I was also in a panic because I was so paranoid that any mention of gayness anywhere in the whole of human culture was going to turn a spotlight on me, that people were going to find out of what I was still figuring out myself, and I really wasn't ready for that. Poor Ellen thought she was doing something good for gay people everywhere, but in Massachusetts there was this 13-year-old who was going, stop talking about lesbians, people are going to find out. In high school, when I'd only come out to some people, and I'm pretty sure everybody else knew, I remember this odd tension between, the people I'd come out to had said they were accepting, but they weren't really willing to be open with me about it. They didn't really bring it up again, didn't want to talk about it. Whereas the people who I barely knew, who had just heard it secondhand, were the people who were yelling dyke at me in the hallways. It was odd. I had one experience where I went into a shop class to have a piece of glass cut for something I was working on in my art class, and the entire class of 15 boys started snickering and muttering under their breath and calling me a carpet muncher and other sort of totally inappropriate anti-gay slurs. And, it was inappropriate not just because it was rude, but because, hi, I'm 15 years old, and being afraid of people like you, bullies like you, is a big part of the reason why I probably won't express my sexuality physically for a long time to come. Probably won't. I didn't, because I was afraid of people like this. And anyway, I looked to the teacher for help, and he just ignored it. He kept asking me about the piece of glass that I wanted cut, like nothing else was going on in the class. Terrible things like that happen. Public shaming, stuff that made me feel like I couldn't turn to either my peers or adults for support, let alone guidance. And at the same time, I felt like most of my friends who said that they were accepting just wanted to sweep the whole thing under the rug. I remember a few months after coming out to one friend, she made a gay joke that was not about gay women, it was about gay men, and when I objected, she rolled her eyes at me and said, you are not a lesbian. And it's just true, I'd come out as bisexual when I was in high school, and I still identify as queer, not lesbian, but come on. It's not like a distinction like that matters. It still hurt. And I never told her how much that hurt me. So now, after a long and probably tedious rundown of how high school sucked for me, just as it sucks for everybody else to a certain extent, I want to get to the point. I talked about my experiences because I want you to know that you're not alone. Unfortunately, there are assholes everywhere, and even when people are not deliberately trying to be assholes, maybe just understand, or maybe just don't know how to deal with it. Fortunately, there are also people who've been through what you're going through or something similar, people who understand it and who want to help. I'm one of those people, and everybody who made one of these videos is another one of those people. We're in this together, and right now, because you're the ones who are suffering, we're in it for you. It gets better. It gets better simply by you continuing to exist. I'm not saying that you all should, just turn the other cheek and suffer until someday you're magically released from, whatever personal hell you're going through right now. It's not a test of how much you can take, and you don't have to, prove that you deserve your freedom by suffering. You already have your freedom. That's already yours. And what you need to do is show that to other people. Make sure they understand that. Even when things suck, as hard as they're ever going to suck, the simple fact that you're hanging around is an important piece of the mechanism by which things are gradually, glacially getting better for everyone. Because things are not only going to get better for you, they're changing for the better everywhere. And remember what I said at the beginning, people of my parents' age and your parents' age could not even conceive that the world would look like it does today, even though it's not perfect. We're lucky to live in a time when change for the better is not just a possibility, it's slowly evolving reality. And I want you all to see your future, your still imperfect but much better future. So hang in there. Call the Trevor Project if you need to. Trust that things will get better. Trust that things will change, and become a part of that change. Good luck to you all, and a lot of love.